Welcome to your deep dive. Today we're really diving deep into fine-tuning large language models, or LLMs for short. You know, those AI systems that seem to be able to write anything. Well, we're going behind the scenes to uncover how we can make these LLMs even smarter, even more useful.
Yeah.
And to guide us through this pretty intricate landscape, we have our expert right here with us. So you share this incredible excerpt with us from the Ultimate Guide to Fine-Tuning LLMs. What's the thing that blows your mind the most that we can learn about fine-tuning today?
I think one of the most fascinating things is that fine-tuning, it's not about like building an AI from scratch. It's really more about giving like a super smart AI a crash course in a very specific skill.
Okay, so like taking a brilliant chef and teaching them how to bake award-winning sourdough bread.
Exactly. We're shaping their existing abilities for very specialized tasks, right? So it's like also teaching that chef to maybe analyze market trends for ingredients or translate ancient bread making recipes.
Okay, that's a very tasty analogy.
Yeah.
So how does this Ultimate Guide break down this whole process of fine-tuning?
Well, they highlight the 7-stage pipeline, and really it all starts with data.
Because data is king.
Data is king and queen.
Right.
The common saying, garbage in, garbage out, is incredibly relevant here. Just imagine training an AI to write amazing movie scripts, but all you feed it is, cheesy rom-com dialogue.
You're going to end up with a very predictable AI screenwriter.
Exactly. This stage, which is data preparation, is all about making sure that the data is high quality, that it's diverse, and that it's relevant to that specific task that we want the AI to just absolutely excel at.
So it's not just about finding a ton of data. It's about finding the right data.
Absolutely. It's about being very intentional, right? It's more than just gathering any old information. It's about making sure that data is clean, balanced, and really free from biases that could lead the AI astray.
Yeah, because you could end up with like a really biased AI, and that's no good. So it's like curating this banquet of information, not just serving up whatever's in the fridge.
Right, 100%.
I'm really starting to see now why data preparation is such a critical stage in this whole process.
Yeah.
So once we have this feast, this banquet of data ready, what's the next step in our kind of like AI boot camp?
Yeah. So once we have our data prepped and ready to go, it's time to actually choose the right AI brain for the job.
Okay.
And that's where model initialization comes into play.
Hmm.
We need to consider what the model was originally trained on, its strengths, its weaknesses, even its size.
So it's kind of like choosing the right tool for the job at hand.
Yes. Think about it this way. You wouldn't use a teaspoon to dig a ditch, right? You'd choose a tool that's specifically designed for that task.
Right.
Similarly, different AI models, they have different architectures, different strengths, different weaknesses.
So picking the right model is really about understanding what it's inherently capable of doing and how well that aligns with the task that you want it to perform.
100%. And this stage also involves getting into the nitty-gritty of the practicalities, like considering the computational resources that we'll actually need to train this AI model effectively.
Ah, the computational resources. So we talk about those GPUs I hear so much about.
You got it.
Okay.
GPUs, or graphics processing units, are those powerful chips. Originally they were designed for gaming, but they've turned out to be incredibly good at handling all those complex calculations involved in training AI. And then for even heavier lifting, we have things like TPUs, or tensor processing units, which are specifically designed for AI workloads.
Oh, wow. So it's like choosing between a really powerful sports car and a heavy-duty truck. It depends on the terrain we're tackling and how much horsepower we need, right?
That's a great analogy. And just like you'd need skilled mechanics to keep those vehicles running smoothly, in the AI world, we need specialized software tools and the expertise to really manage this whole training process. This is where platforms like, PyTorch and TensorFlow come into play. They provide the framework and the infrastructure we need to train these AI models effectively.
So stage 3 is about setting up our training camp,
Wow.
right? Making sure we have all the right equipment, the right expertise to get the most out of our chosen AI brain.
Exactly. The stage is all about preparation, making sure everything is in place for a smooth, successful training process.
Now, this is where I'm really curious. How do we actually fine-tune the AI? What are the techniques involved in, taking that raw AI talent and molding it into this specialized expert?
Yeah, that's where it gets really, really interesting. So there isn't just one way to fine-tune an AI model. It's more like having this toolkit with a variety of fine-tuning techniques, each with their own strengths and applications. So let's start with task-specific training, where we train the AI for a very, very particular job.
So like training our chef AI to not only create innovative recipes, but also generate like mouth-watering descriptions for a menu.
Exactly. It's about giving the AI a specific skill set for that task. And then there's also domain-specific training. That's where we make the AI a whiz in a specific field.
Okay, so in our chef AI example, this would be like teaching it about the subtleties of different cuisines, like French cuisine, Italian, maybe even molecular gastronomy.
Precisely. And then on top of that, there's this really, really cool technique called parameter efficient fine-tuning, or PFT for short.
PAT, it sounds very efficient.
That's the idea.
Okay.
PFT is all about getting really amazing results without having to retrain the entire AI model from scratch, which can be incredibly time-consuming and resource-intensive.
I can imagine. So it's about working smarter, not harder when it comes to fine-tuning.
Exactly. One really popular PFT method is LoRA, or low-rank adaptation. Imagine you're renovating a house. You wouldn't demolish the entire house just to update the kitchen, right?
Not unless you had unlimited time and money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LoRA works similarly. It focuses on fine-tuning a smaller subset of the model's parameters, making the whole process much more efficient.
So it's like a targeted approach to fine-tuning, or making these precise adjustments instead of overhauling the entire system.
That's a great way to put it. But it's not just about picking a technique and letting it run wild. We need to constantly evaluate and validate the model's performance, making sure it's actually learning, making sure it's improving.
So it's time for a progress report for our AI student.
Exactly.
But how do we even go about, like, grading an AI?
Yeah, it's about selecting the right metrics that are relevant to that specific task. For example, if we're training our AI to write really compelling product descriptions, we might look at metrics like, clarity, conciseness, and even how persuasive those descriptions are.
So it's not just about whether the AI can string words together. It's about whether it can string the right words together to actually achieve a specific goal.
Yeah.
And I imagine we also don't want an AI that just memorizes the training data, right? Like, it needs to be able to apply what it's learned to new data, to unseen data.
Right, precisely. We don't want an AI that can just parrot back what it's heard before. We want an AI that can generalize its knowledge, apply its skills to new situations, and even come up with its own creative solutions.
Now, that's what I call a 5-star AI student.
It's like the difference between a student who can ace a memorization test and a student who can actually take what they've learned and apply it to real-world problems.
Right.
We're looking for that spark of true understanding,
Exactly.
that ability to connect the dots.
And once we've got our AI firing on all cylinders, how do we actually release it into the world? What does deployment look like?
Deployment, that's where it gets really real.
Okay.
It's about making our fine-tuned AI accessible to users.
Right.
This could mean integrating it into an existing application or building a whole new app around it, or even creating an API that others can use to kind of plug into its capabilities.
So it's like taking our AI creation out of the lab and giving it like an actual job to do in the real world.
Exactly. And just like any new employee, our AI needs ongoing support and guidance to continue performing at its best.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of deal?
Not at all. This brings us to that final stage: monitoring and maintenance.
Okay.
Fine-tuning isn't just a one-time event. We need to keep an eye on how the AI is doing, make sure it's making accurate predictions, address any biases that might emerge.
So it's about keeping our AI sharp relevant.
Yeah,
Making sure it's still aligned with our goals as things change.
precisely. It's about nurturing its growth and ensuring it continues to be a valuable asset.
This whole process from data preparation to monitoring, it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like we're not just programming AI, we're almost like guiding its evolution in a very specific direction.
That's a great way to put it, and the results of this careful fine-tuning can be incredible. Yeah.
We're seeing fine-tuned LLMs popping up in all sorts of applications, from healthcare to finance to even the creative arts.
Speaking of amazing applications, this ultimate guide mentions some pretty mind-blowing use cases for these fine-tuned LLMs.
Yeah.
What's got you most excited?
One area where I see huge potential is in personalized education.
Okay.
Imagine an AI tutor that can adapt to a student's individual learning style, identifying areas where they're struggling and tailoring lessons to meet their specific needs.
So it's like having a personal tutor who is available 24/7, always ready to help a student grasp a difficult concept or practice a new skill.
Exactly. This technology could revolutionize the way we learn, making education more engaging, effective, and accessible for everyone.
That's incredible. It's like giving every student this, like, a key to unlock their full learning potential.
Yeah.
What other transformative applications are out there?
Another area where I'm seeing incredible progress is in scientific discovery.
Researchers are using fine-tuned LLMs to analyze massive data sets, uncover hidden patterns, and even generate new hypotheses that could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, materials science, and other fields.
So it's like having an AI research assistant working tirelessly alongside scientists to solve some of the world's most challenging problems.
Exactly. Fine-tuned LLMs are accelerating the pace of discovery, helping us make sense of complex data and uncovering insights that might have otherwise remained hidden.
This is all so incredibly exciting, but I have to ask, with all this talk about the incredible potential of fine-tuned LLMs, are there any potential downsides?
Hmm.
Are there any risks we need to be aware of as we venture further into this kind of uncharted territory?
That's a crucial question, and it's one that researchers, developers, and policymakers are grappling with right now.
Right.
One concern that often comes up is the potential for job displacement.
Yeah.
As AI systems become more capable, some worry that they might automate jobs that are currently done by humans.
It's a valid concern. Many technological advancements throughout history have led to shifts in the job market.
Right.
What are your thoughts on how we can navigate this potential challenge?
I think it's important to remember that throughout history, technological advancements have always created new opportunities, even as they displaced existing jobs.
Right.
The key is to adapt to focus on developing skills that complement AI and to prepare for the jobs of the future.
So rather than fearing AI as this job-stealing monster, we should see it as a powerful tool that can augment human capabilities and create new possibilities.
Exactly. It's about finding ways for humans and AI to work together, each leveraging their unique strengths to achieve common goals.
Yeah.
And this collaboration between humans and AI is already happening in various fields.
Can you give us some examples of this human-AI collaboration in action?
Absolutely. In healthcare, for instance, AI is being used to analyze medical images, identify potential diseases, and even assist with surgical procedures.
Wow.
But it's not about replacing doctors, it's about providing them with more information, more precise tools, and more time to focus on patient care.
So it's about enhancing human capabilities, not replacing them.
Precisely, we're seeing similar trends in other fields as well.
Okay.
In finance, AI is being used to analyze market data, identify investment opportunities, and even detect fraud. But ultimately, it's still human analysts who are making the final decisions, using their expertise and judgment to guide the process.
It sounds like the key is to find the right balance, to leverage the strengths of both AI and human intelligence to create a more efficient, productive, and equitable future.
Exactly. It's about seeing AI not as a threat, but as a powerful ally in our quest to solve problems, improve lives, and create a better world.
Now, shifting gears a bit, I'm curious about the accessibility of this technology.
Okay.
Fine-tuning LLMs sound incredibly complex and resource-intensive. Is this something that's only accessible to like tech giants and research labs with massive budgets?
That's a great question, and it's something that a lot of people are thinking about as AI becomes more prevalent.
Yeah.
While it's true that fine-tuning large language models can be computationally demanding, there are efforts underway to democratize access to this technology.
Democratize access. What does that look like in practice?
It means making fine-tuning more accessible to smaller companies, startups, researchers with limited resources, and even individuals.
Wow.
One way this is being done is through the development of open-source tools and platforms.
Open source. So we're talking about making the code and the tools for fine-tuning freely available to anyone who wants to use them.
Exactly. Projects like Hugging Face, for example, are creating massive repositories of pre-trained language models and providing tools that make it easier to fine-tune these models for specific tasks, even if you don't have a PhD in computer science.
That's amazing. It's like giving anyone with an internet connection the potential to harness the power of AI.
Yeah.
What other efforts are underway to make this technology more accessible?
Another trend we're seeing is the rise of cloud-based AI platforms. Companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are offering cloud-based services that provide access to powerful computing resources, pre-trained models, and user-friendly tools, making it easier and more affordable for individuals and organizations of all sizes to experiment with and deploy AI solutions.
So it's like renting a supercomputer by the hour instead of having to build one from scratch.
Exactly. Cloud computing is breaking down barriers to entry in the field of AI, allowing more people to experiment, innovate, and create new applications that could benefit society as a whole.
This is all incredibly encouraging. It sounds like the future of fine-tuning LLMs is heading towards greater accessibility,
Yeah.
allowing more people to harness the power of this technology.
Yeah.
But with great power comes great responsibilities, they say.
Right.
What are your thoughts on the ethical considerations surrounding the accessibility of this technology?
That's a crucial point. As we make fine-tuning LLMs more accessible, it's essential to ensure that this technology is used responsibly and ethically. We need to have clear guidelines and guardrails in place to prevent misuse, promote fairness, and ensure that AI benefits all of humanity.
So it's not just about making the technology available, it's about making sure it's used for good and not for harm.
Precisely. It's about promoting responsible AI development and deployment, where ethical considerations are embedded in every stage of the process.
Are there any specific examples of how we can promote responsible AI development as this technology becomes more accessible?
Absolutely. One crucial aspect is education.
Okay.
We need to educate people about the potential benefits and risks of AI, equip them with the skills to use it responsibly, and foster a culture of critical thinking and ethical awareness.
So it's about empowering people to be informed and responsible stewards of this powerful technology.
Exactly. Another important aspect is collaboration.
Okay.
We need to encourage dialogue and collaboration among researchers, developers, policymakers, and the public to establish ethical guidelines, address potential biases, and ensure that AI is developed and deployed in a way that aligns with our shared human values.
It sounds like responsible AI development is a team effort requiring cooperation and shared responsibility from everyone involved.
Precisely, it's about working together to create a future where AI is used to augment human capabilities, solve problems, and build a better world for everyone.
It's really inspiring to think about like the potential of AI to not just solve these really complex technical problems, but to actually address some of the social and ethical challenges that we face as like a society, right?
Absolutely. AI, at the end of the day, is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's
Yeah.
really up to us to kind of guide its development and use it in a way that benefits, all of humanity.
Well said. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm kind of left wondering, like, what's next? What's on the horizon for this incredible technology? What are some of the emerging trends and advancements in fine-tuning LLMs that have you most excited?
Ooh, that's a question that keeps me up at night. In the best way possible, of course. One area that I find incredibly exciting is the development of even more sophisticated fine-tuning techniques. Right now, we're primarily focused on fine-tuning these models for specific tasks. But what if we could fine-tune them for things like, I don't know, creativity, empathy, maybe even ethical reasoning?
So instead of just teaching AI to perform tasks, we're talking about teaching it to think more like humans,
Right.
to kind of understand and respond to our emotions, our values, even our aspirations.
Exactly. It's about pushing the boundaries of what AI can do, not just in terms of, technical capabilities, but also in terms of its ability to understand and interact with the world in a more human-centric way.
That's a fascinating thought. Are there any other, like, advancements on the horizon that have really caught your eye?
Yeah, another area that I'm particularly interested in is the development of what we call multimodal AI models. We've been focusing so much on language models in this deep dive, but the world is full of different types of data, right? Images, videos, sounds, sensor readings, and these multimodal models aim to integrate all of that information into a single unified system.
So instead of having like separate AI models for processing text and then images and sounds, we're talking about creating AI systems that can seamlessly integrate and understand information from multiple senses, just like humans do.
Precisely. And these multimodal models have the potential to completely revolutionize a wide range of fields, from healthcare and education to even transportation and entertainment. Imagine an AI system that can not only understand your spoken words, but also interpret your facial expressions, your body language, even your emotional state.
It sounds like something straight out of science fiction. What are some of the potential applications of these multimodal AI models?
Oh, the possibilities are truly mind-boggling. In healthcare, for example, these models could be used to diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately, to personalize treatment plans, even provide emotional support to patients. In education, they could create these immersive learning environments that adapt to each student's individual learning style and pace. And in transportation, they could make self-driving cars safer and more reliable by enabling them to understand and respond to, complex situations in real time.
It's incredible to think about the transformative potential of this technology. But as we kind of venture further into this uncharted territory, I think we also need to proceed with both caution and foresight. What are some of the ethical considerations that we need to keep in mind as we develop and deploy these increasingly powerful AI systems?
That's a question that should be at the forefront of every conversation about AI. We need to ensure that these technologies are developed and used in a way that aligns with our human values, that serves the common good. One crucial aspect is transparency. We need to be able to understand how these AI models are making decisions so we can identify and mitigate potential biases and make sure that they're not perpetuating existing inequalities.
So it's about making sure that AI is a force for good, not a tool for, like, discrimination or oppression.
Exactly. Another really important consideration is accountability. If an AI system makes a mistake, who's responsible? How do we ensure that there are mechanisms in place to address any harm that might be caused by these systems? These are complex questions that require careful thought and collaboration between technologists, ethicists, policymakers, and really the public as well.
Yeah, it's a reminder that AI is not just this technical field, it's a social and ethical one too. The choices we make about how we develop and deploy AI are going to have a really profound impact on our society and our future.
Absolutely. It's a shared responsibility that requires us to be thoughtful, to be deliberate, and above all, committed to using this powerful technology for the betterment of humanity.
This deep dive has been both fascinating and incredibly thought-provoking. We've explored the technical intricacies of fine-tuning LLMs, the boundless possibilities they offer, and really the ethical considerations that have to guide their development and deployment. As we stand at the cusp of this new era of AI, one thing is clear. The future is full of both incredible promise and really complex challenges.
I couldn't agree more. It is a very, very exciting time to be working in the field of AI, and I, for one, am so eager to see what the future holds. But as we move forward, I think it's really important that we proceed with both curiosity and caution, harnessing the power of this technology to create a brighter future for everyone.
Well said. A huge thank you to our expert for joining us today and sharing these incredible insights with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of fine-tuning LLMs. We hope you've enjoyed the journey, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop learning.